Hello and welcome to Car Nerds Central. Let's get on with this week's news. Right off the bat, with Mercedes Benz. Mercedes has showcased its new concept car. Uh, it's called the Vision Iconic. It looks like an old SL from the back and gets the W11 1960s S Class grille from the front. I think it looks cool. It looks glossy. The design language is also reminiscent of the latest GLC, the electric GLC that launched. And what do you think about this?
I think it looks pretty nice. Mercedes has been struggling with the design for the past few years. I have not liked anything that has come from Mercedes, but this is something that I feel really does that retro styling right. Also, the shape of the car, it's a long bonnet coupe, which uh, which reminds me of the SLS. So we can hopefully expect something along the lines of the SLS. Plus, it looks like a Batmobile.
Yeah.
So looks pretty nice.
Also, the wheels are almost like copied from a Batmobile.
Yeah, a lot of elements do look like they would fit right in with a new Batmobile. And I think if Mercedes follows similar, it's much simpler. But if they follow similar design with their newer cars, I think they might get the design right finally. It's interesting. Mercedes is going back to this grill. BMW is going back to those smaller original kidney
Yeah.
grills. Everyone is
More,
just
more like a more like a Bruce Wayne mobile, actually. Not exactly a Batmobile, but it's similar.
could be.
Yeah.
Moving on. Uh, we have a very special Ferrari. Once again, it will be a one of one, and Ferrari is calling it the SC40. So this is specially made for just one customer, and it will be based on the 296 GTB. Uh, and Ferrari says that it draws inspiration from the Ferrari F40, and we can see that a little bit in the front headlights and the rear spoiler, of course. But it looks interesting. I wouldn't say it looks bad, but it looks interesting. I think it is somewhat of a great design. The thing is that the 296 GTB already looked like a very good car. And
Yeah.
this looks like a body kit on top of it rather than a whole different thing, which is inspired from the F40.
Yeah, the 296 GTB was my favorite modern Ferrari, but they did. I think they did a good job with the front. At least it reminds me of the F40, the front, and also the spoiler at the back, the one which continues from the fenders.
Yes, but that's the only two things that remind you of the F40. The F40 in general is a very boxy car, and
Yeah,
this
it's
this
very
keeps
plain.
it's very
Yeah.
plain. It's very simple. This keeps all the elements of the 296 GTB, all the curves, and there are just two boxy elements, which is the front end and just the
Mhm.
rear spoiler. But it still looks pretty interesting. I think
And do you see the Countach in it a little bit?
a little bit. Yes, I think it's
Yeah,
closer to a Lamborghini rather than a Ferrari in some ways.
they copied the wrong. They got
No,
inspired by the wrong company.
yeah, I think Ferrari will not be happy with our take on this.
Moving on to China now. BYD has teased an all-new electric K car. This is the first time that a foreign brand, foreign for Japan, has created a car specifically for the Japanese car market. It will be an electric model with 20 kilowatt hours of battery and 180 kilometers of range. I don't think 20 kilowatt hours is enough for 180 kilometers. But then looking at the size of the car, it could be possible. and also on Japanese roads, considering they are usually small roads which have a lot of opportunity for regenerative braking.
And we are
It
talking
could do
about
that.
BYD here. As these guys are the uh, like they are the
Pioneers.
pioneers of electric tech, and they
Yeah.
have the best batteries around. And I think they can easily squeeze out that range number from that battery. And even
Mhm.
with K cars, I feel that they don't travel that long, those long distances, and these
Mhm.
cars will be limited to the city anyways, which is totally fine. But it's interesting to see a Chinese manufacturer actually is making a car which is just specifically made for the Japanese market. This is an
Yeah.
interesting. No other take. This is no other mass market manufacturer has actually uh, made a car just for Japan. Even though Japan has made a lot of cars for other mass markets,
Yeah.
but nobody has actually made a car which is made just for Japan. So that would be
Yeah.
interesting. Moving on. So Toyota has two luxury brands somehow. So uh, they are trying to make Lexus and Century coexist together as different luxury brands. A lot of people don't know about Century. It's again a Japanese specific brand. They make two cars. There's a Century sedan and there's a Century SUV now, but those are only sold in Japan. But Toyota has said that the Century brand will be pitched at a more ultra luxury demographic, while Lexus can be pioneers of we don't know what, but pioneers of something. Uh, so with Century, they don't just want to chase other luxury brands like BMW and Mercedes, but they also want to innovate things from their own perspective as to what is luxury, and I think it could very well work in their favor. The cent- this might also allow them to introduce the Century brand to other markets as well. I think it will work brilliantly in China and even Europe. Not
Even Europe.
particular
Yeah. It will be
particularly
a good
Amer-
competition for Rolls-Royce and Bentley.
yes, if somebody is looking for an reliable, ultra high luxury car, they can definitely look into the Century brand. Not, I'm not particularly confident that this would work for the American market. The American market, the Lexus brand already exists as a luxury spin-off of Toyota for the American market. So I don't think that Century would take anything away from them. But they are definitely moving towards. I don't know if we need another luxury, ultra high luxury brand, but it's good to have it.
Uh, I remember reading, I guess it was the Toyota press release, that Lexus will get a free hand as to what they want to do. Their products, they can decide their products. They don't have to necessarily use Toyota platforms for their products. Uh, they don't have to share platforms.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
they might, and in the press and this press release as well, Toyota and Lexus have clarified that they'll be working on things like a six-wheel MPV, luxury MPV, which is again a very different take on the automobile itself and what a luxury car is. So that totally might be the case that this is to give Lexus more free hand towards making decisions.
okay, then another Toyota news: the new Land Cruiser FJ, based on the Hilux chassis. It will have a 2.7-liter petrol, no diesel, unfortunately. It
I
will
would
be
have
built
loved it to
in,
have the diesel.
yeah, it will be built in Thailand. It is not intended for the US or the European markets, only the Middle Eastern, Australian, Southeast Asian, Japanese. And it looks like they They got inspired by Suzuki Jimny.
It does look like a Jimny spin-off, but Toyota. Although it is
But
quite a bit larger than the Jimny.
yeah, and this will actually be a better off-roader than even the uh, in terms of numbers, because it will have a better breakover angle because of a smaller wheelbase, and also a better departure angle because the overhangs are very short. But
It
let's see.
looks
We don't know
it
it. We don't know yet.
it looks pretty interesting. Now the Americans would be crying that we don't get these highly specific off-road vehicles for the American market. Uh, but I for sure know that even if Toyota launches this in America, nobody will buy it.
Yeah. And the
Every
interior is okay. Continue.
It is very much the same thing with the Jimny. A lot of Americans say that they would buy the Jimny, but we for sure know that there will be like 10 people who would buy the Jimny, and
Yeah.
they would struggle selling all the other cars. Well, most of the people just buy these big off-roaders for the look of the off-roaders rather than using them. That's why they have
Yeah.
like 3-ton SUVs uh, pelting down the road just to get some just to drop kids off to school or to get groceries from Costco.
Yeah.
Moving on, GM is planning a new lineup of low cost TVs, which I'm very happy about. So they relaunched the Bolt. Uh, it now has a new battery pack and it gets all the new features and it's under $30,000. But they will also come up with a new lineup of low cost EVs, which are sub $30,000. And time again, we have emphasized on the fact that we need more smaller EVs, and this part of the price bracket seems uh, the one to target if you really want a successful EV. If you look at Chinese market and the European market, small EVs make all the sense in the world. You have a very small day-to-day uh, vehicle, which is an EV, and you can go to your work, and then you can go get groceries in it, and you can just manage everything in that small of a car. And then you have other cars which support your uh, other activities. Then you can have a nice truck, which is diesel, and then you can have a sports car, which has a petrol engine, and then you have a small EV, which you can drive around every day. So
Yeah.
again, GM,
Uh,
I think larger EVs are not selling that well. GM makes one of the larger EVs in the market. They have the GMC Hummer
yeah.
EV, which is somehow a thing. And then there is also the Escalade EV, which is called the IQ. Uh, but I think this is the step in the right direction. GM needs more smaller EVs. I think everyone needs smaller EVs in the market.
Hmm. It it also helps keep the city centers pollution free.
Not that America is going to do anything about it. they
Yeah, I mean, it's
they
the need of the hour,
that's not
especially.
that's not something that they care about. But yeah, the smaller EVs, I think if everyone starts driving a smaller EV as their daily vehicles, we can have more fun cars on the other end of the spectrum.
So, moving on to Porsche now. Porsche has patented a new W18 engine. Yes, a W18, which means four banks of four and a half. No, not really. Maybe two banks of five and one bank of two banks of four cylinders. Uh, so yeah, it is a tri-turbo design. I don't know if it's sequential or whatever. We don't know what the use case of this engine is yet. It could be for a forthcoming race, but with patents, it is most likely working toward new tech that would trickle down into models later. in their lineup.
It's exciting
That's it.
news, but I don't want to keep my hopes up that something they'll make an actual production car which has a W18.
And yeah,
It's
no,
very
it's highly unlikely.
it's
Yeah,
very unlikely that that is going to happen. But I still think that this mean that cooler things might be coming to the Porsche lineup. There is still
yeah,
a 918 Spider successor pending, so there could be
yeah,
something very interesting that could come. Although Porsche is struggling. Coming on to
yeah.
Porsche
I,
struggling.
uh, just a thing to add before you say that. Uh, Three turbos could mean it is if it is a triple stage turbo, we could have those two transitions in between. We could have those that iconic turbo switch twice in the rev range.
Could be, could be. We wouldn't know. But Porsche is struggling. And talking about Porsche struggling, the Porsche will get a new CEO as well. So Dr. Michael uh, L- L- Leiters,
Lighter.
Dr. Michael Leiter will take on the CEO position from January, and he will be replacing the current CEO who was Dr. Oliver Bloom. And the fact is that the EV plan that Porsche had has not been the next generation fuel that they imagined, and they are rolling back on EVs quite heavily. Again, Dr. Michael has previous experience in McLaren, and he has also worked with Ferrari. Interestingly, he has worked on hybrids, and he will be pushing petrol cars and most likely the hybrid powertrains on all their vehicles, which could mean a lot of good things for Porsche. They have already said that their Porsche Cayman and Boxster successors, which were going to be electric, will also have a petrol engine now. So there we can see a few interesting models coming in with hybrid. So that is some interesting news. We'll
This is
see.
like for like the same story we heard with Stellantis, isn't it?
Exactly.
They also changed it.
They also changed their CEO who was very into electrics, and then th- there's the new CEO who is more into petrol cars, and we'll have to see if all these big decisions and CEO changes translates into any profits in the future. Anyway, that's all for the news today and this week. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.